Okay guys, what we're going to do today is basically a repeat of yesterday, but a little bit deeper and a little bit more practice, okay? So working on the rules of quadratic equations and how it determines where the vertex will be. So first I want to make sure that your table is totally up to date and accurate for the three different forms of a quadratic equation. Yesterday, these are the pieces of information we added in there. The K, the H, and the A. All right. So what you're going to do today is get a little bit more detail on the K, the H, and the A into your foldable. So you've got 4 tabs. I'd like you to label them as K, H, and A. And then the last tab will be plus or minus. So the last 2 tabs both have to do with A. Okay? So let's start with the K. Remember in the work that we did yesterday, the K has to do with whether the vertex will move up or down. If K is positive, it will move up. If K is negative, it will move down. Having some trouble with my pen here today. I'm not sure why it's highlighting so strangely. Hopefully it clears itself up. Alright, so in your foldable, the bottom half here is going to be an example. The top half should be words that describe the action that happens. So on each slide here, you'll be able to find a solid example that you can include and be able to sketch it. You can use the exact same example that is given, or you can create your own. So remember, the K moves it up or down. For example, if it says +3, it moves it up 3 spaces. The H, this is the one that goes backwards. So if H is positive, it moves. H is greater. Okay, so if H is negative, it moves to the right, and if H is positive, it moves to the left. So when you have x minus 4 here, that's going to move to the right 4 spaces. So on your own this time, you're going to be filling in the words and the example. Okay, so use the example here on this page if you would like. But if H is positive, it goes left. If H is negative, it goes right. All right, now for the A. So we're going to start with how the A makes it fat or skinny. The bigger A is, whether it's negative or positive, so the absolute value of A, if it's greater than 1, it gets skinnier. Higher and higher and higher. If A is between 0 and 1, it gets fatter. Okay, so for example, 1/3 x squared is going to be fatter than x squared. Again, for A, fill in your words and your examples. And the final tab, the plus or minus. This is also the A, whether it's positive or negative. Remember, if it's negative, it's going to open downward, it's frowning. If it's positive, it will be smiling and open upward. Okay, so for example, if I have the graph -3x squared plus 1, it's going to be skinnier because it's 3. It's going to be frowning because it's negative, and it's going to move the vertex up 1 space because it's a +1. So write in words and an example. Alright, so the rest of this video is going to be focused on just looking at some practice. It'll all be multiple choice like this, and you can pause the video as soon as you get to an example, try it yourself, and then check to see if you were right. So in this case, we're describing how the graph of h equals x squared plus 7 is related to x squared. So the only difference here is the plus 7. And so that's going to tell us that it is going to move the vertex up 7 units. So the answer is A. Feel free to use your foldable here as you're working through this to help you. All right, so now this time we've got 1/2, so that's going to make it compressed vertically. It's going to make it fatter. So you might want to write down those key words there somewhere. Compressed vertically means that it'll be fat. Stretched vertically means it'll be skinny. Think about if you pull on something and stretch it, then it will get skinnier. If you compress something or you smash down on it, think like a marshmallow. When you smash it, it becomes fatter. Okay? So this one is compressed vertically, fatter, so it cannot be A, it cannot be C, and it cannot be D. Let's double check. It's going down 4. Yep, a -4 is down 4. So B is the correct answer. All right, describe how the graph of g of x is equal to x minus 4 squared minus 2. All right, let's give this one a try. So the -4 inside the parentheses is telling us left or right. And it's the opposite of what you think. So since it's -4, it's going to go right 4. So this one's right 4, and this one's right 4. So not these two. And then you got the -2 on the outside, which is if it goes up or down, and it's going down because it's minus. So the correct answer is C. All right, let's try this one. We've got a +6 here inside the parentheses, so that's meaning left or right. It's +6, so it's the opposite of what we think. It's going to be left 6 units. All right, let's take a look at this one. We got 2x squared versus x squared. That's the A value, and that tells us if it's skinny or fat. And remember, the bigger the number, the skinnier it's going to get. And so that's going to be stretched vertically. Notice this one here, stretched horizontally. We don't do that. That's a trick answer. 2 units up, no, it's not being added. And compressed vertically, it's not getting fatter. So C is your answer there. All right, let's take a look at these two. How are these different? Subtracting 3 outside the parentheses. That's going to tell us it's going up or down, and in this case, it is down. All right, we're getting more complicated here now. So take it bit by bit. Do one thing at a time. Let's start with the +1. Inside the parentheses, +1 means it's going to go the opposite direction that we think. It's going to go 1 unit left. So these that say 1 unit right are not correct. Then the -4 tells us that it's going to go down 4 units. Oh, neither of them say anything about down 4 units. Okay, so that piece of information did not help us. We got a minus sign out front, so that means it's going to be frowning or reflected across the x-axis. That would be the fancy way of saying it. But of course, I will accept frowning. Okay, so they both say reflected across the x-axis. They both say 1 unit left. The only difference is vertically stretched or vertically compressed. The 2 is going to tell us that it is going to be vertically stretched. All right. Now these are going to go a little bit more challenging. It's backwards of what we've been doing all along. So look at the graph, and based on the graph, choose the right equation. So the first thing I notice is it smiling or is it frowning? It's frowning. So B and D gotta go. Now the other thing I notice is that it's moved up 3 spaces. So that means I need to add 3. So the correct answer is C. Why don't you try this one? All right. First thing I notice again is it's smiling. So it can't be this one and it can't be this one. Then I notice that this is down 2 spaces. So it must be A. Alright, so I hope you guys have gotten the hang of this. Your homework tonight is 1 through 6 and 18 through 22. Now, in 1 through 6, you are matching those equations to the letters of these graphs here. So, for example, number 1, which of these graphs, A, B, C, or D, or E, or F, looks most like an equation that says x squared minus 11? Okay? In 18 through 22, you're just going to describe how it is related. You know what, guys? I screwed up. The first 6, you're just describing. And in 18 through 22, you're matching. I read the directions backwards. Sorry about that. So in number 18, you're finding A, B, C, D, E, or F, which graph this is. In numbers 1 through 6, you're just going to write a sentence that describes how it is related to x squared. Okay? Good luck. And I'll see you tomorrow.